Hey everybody, this is Gokai Spartan. I'm just making another video where I'm just going to talk about, I guess, my current projects that I've been working on and, future projects that might be upcoming. This week is mommy week. It's Rogexial's week. I'm giving her a week so I could flesh out her character and focus on her character specifically. That's what I like to do. Like each week I like to dedicate a week to one of my main characters. Like last week was Ikagen's week. That's why he got the episode with Inkworth. And anytime I do anything with Shattered Bridge, it's dedicated to the entire Mighty Morphin franchise as a whole. But for the Flawless Universe, it's more or less I gotta pick what episodes I want to make for certain characters or just in general. So since Rogexial was my starting character, that was the very first character that I made. She was supposed to be like the anchor of this channel in a way, and I think she still is in a way, but I'm well aware of how she looks, and I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't care because I am a man. And I'm sorry guys, I like my women the way I like them, but I try to diversify it. That's why Beatrice isn't looking like a dummy mommy like the rest of them. But for the most part, I gotta do something for her because she's one of the main characters, because the story is kind of centered around her. The villains, she's the main one that the villains want to get rid of, and she's going to be the hardest one for them to get rid of because she's a fucking Mary Sue and she can basically do anything that I can put my mind to. So fighting a character like that, I'm not saying she's unstoppable, but she's damn near. There's a lot of overpowered characters in the Flawless Military. I kind of like my characters like that because I was inspired by Masashi Kishimoto when he said this one thing. He said that he made Madara so strong that he had no idea how he was going to kill him. I remember reading that, and I was like, yo, and I was just inspired because Madara Uchiha, if you know this, because Madara's one of my main characters on here, so he's definitely there. But the thing is, I was just so inspired by that, that's how I want to make some of my characters. Like, not all of them are going to be unstoppable. Like, some of them are going to be weak, some of them are going to be strong, some of them are going to be mildly strong. There's different tier levels. Like, it's SS tier, triple S tier, A tier. Like, if I was to have to give a ranking system to my characters, I would say Rogexial is definitely triple S tier. All three of her sisters is in that same bracket. They're all equally powerful, even though Rogexial gets all the glazing, but Mavis and Rihanna are just as powerful, if not more powerful than her at times. It kind of depends because their powers depends on the fluctuation in the universe. Whereas Rogexial, like, if she could create enough harmony in the universe, she could be the strongest one. The thing is, regardless of whether they have the harmony or the thing that balances them specifically, they'll still be powerful, but which will matter is just like a balance issue, because all three of them, Rogexial gets power from harmony, Mavis gets power from discord, and Rihanna just gets power just so long as nature is just so long to be nature without things being inhabited it. That's why Rihanna's not showcased that much, because her domain is the jungle. She deals with animals and stuff. I do plan on giving her a week too, eventually, but I had to flesh out most of this Power Ranger stuff because I'm well aware that most people come here for my Power Ranger content, and that's what I plan on pushing out. It's just that I like more than just Power Rangers. I like my OCs, I like Game of Thrones, Naruto, and I haven't done anything with Naruto Uzumaki as of late, and I need to get to that. I need to do something with the Uzumaki and Sasuke and all of those characters. It's a little bit difficult because my passion for writing for certain characters has changed. When I first started this project, like I said, Flawless, if you really want to read how this project really started, is a story on fanfiction.net called Naruto and the Flawless Military. That was my first version of the Flawless Military. Things were way different then. Organization 13 was still the way it was. Rogexial and Dexter were more or less new members, and they had other members with them around that time. Certain characters just did get phased out all the time, but that's originally how the story was originally. But when I changed it here, when I decided on making it, because this is an ongoing, like I said, this is an ongoing project, whether I've written it down or not, it's just something I've constantly worked on. So I had to at this point, Rogexial was the goddess at this point. In the story, she's just a member of, she's a very powerful member of Organization 13, the first story on fanfiction. But as the story kept going on, she ended up becoming a goddess. Dexter ended up becoming, like, everybody got a buff, everybody got stronger, and certain buffs didn't get translated when I made the YouTube. Like, for instance, Shion is supposed to be way more darker and stronger. Like, she's a whole mob boss with like in one of my stories that I didn't get the chance to do because, like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time, and before even AI came out, I've been trying to build a team to get these things together, and it didn't work. But the thing is, Shion, originally I had her merged with the Omnitrix because I made it so since she's a replica, she kind of merged with it, and it was like attached to her heart, and she was just OP as fuck. I don't know if I still want to go that route with that character, because I kind of want to keep Rox and Shion somewhat the way they were in Kingdom Hearts, but the dynamics are a little bit different from how I originally had in Flawless Military and how the Sea Salt Trio even originally operate, because Shion is the leader of the Organization 13 branch. Her and Xemnas rule it together, because when Rogexial took over the organization, yes, she bested Xemnas, but eventually she brought Xemnas back, because she realizes that ultimately all of the Xehanorts, young Xehanort included, are just byproducts of Evil Master Xehanort's plan. A plan that's ultimately not going to get them anything. So Master Xehanort literally just created 5 different versions of themselves, endowed them with sentience, and said, follow my orders. Whereas Rogexial kind of wants them to follow her orders, but she wants to give them their own freedom and stuff like that. Like, for instance, like, it's going to sound corny, but Xemnas, he got a hobby where, he likes animals and stuff like that. He has his own zoo, and I'm going to elaborate more on that too. And young Xehanort, he doesn't want to grow up to be exactly like his old self. That's why he's with the Flawless Military. And Master Xehanort is furious because the majority of the Xehanorts, they side with Rogexial, because Rogexial gives them that freedom that Master Xehanort didn't give them. The only Xehanort that I'm still fluctuating on whether I want to side with Rogexial or Xehanort is Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, because the thing about Ansem and Terranort is, before Kingdom Hearts 3, they were the same character in my mind. Like, there was no difference between Ansem and Terranort. They both had the Guardian, so I just figured Ansem was just an older version of him, and I guess that's still the case. But in Kingdom Hearts 3, you have them both in the same room, and they both kind of like It's like Tyrannos just took the Guardian from Ansem and stuff like that. So it's like with Ansem, I don't like. It's hard for me to write it because it's like I feel like I have to pick between which one I want to put in the Ansem or Tyrannos. So in the first episode, the very first episode of Flawless Military, before I did my mini compilations, because I like to do the compilations because not a lot of people get to see some of the first videos that I made. They kind of get lost into the ether, so I kind of do these compilations just to get it all back so everybody can get the full story. Because then I got a lot of people in the questions asking me questions like, oh, why is Inkworth over here with Murloc? First of all, that's not Inkworth, that's Ikagen. And it's just like, so I do these compilation videos to make my content a little bit more digestible. Basically, these compilation videos is what the Kingdom Hearts 2.5 collections is when they collaborate all the games into it. That's essentially what this is for this channel. Because I have a lot of stories and I try to interconnect them all together to make one coherent narrative. And I think I've done so a little bit. There's a lot of ways I could have went with it. Like I could have fleshed out the military versus the Power Rangers a little bit more. I could always still go back to that because nobody knows how to. Because moving forward, who knows what's going to happen with the Flawless Military, Power Rangers, the Harbingers of Doom, and the Galactic Crash Outs? Who knows what's going to happen with those 4 factions? So I could either go pivot back to the Rangers fighting the military, but I didn't necessarily want to do that because the military hacking the morphing grid was never of ill intent in the first place. It will always be conceived as ill intent because that's what anybody would happen, but it was just a necessity because there are bigger threats besides freaking Lord Zed, who's going to sit on his staff and point an electric staff at whatever item and generate a monster. No, this like we have the Galactic Crash House, as you guys can see. These Galactic Crash House are essentially Dragon Ball villains. They walk around with space lasers. They're all basically, if I had to give them all like a power, if I had the power scale, the Galactic Crash House, they're all like Frieza level. Like I want to say Cell. Well, Ikagen's definitely like fucking Jiren. Like Ikagen's gonna like, even though you be seeing him getting blown up and shit. Trust me, Ikagen is things only get better for Ikagen, and things only get better for Ikagen and Madoka on this channel. They might get bested once or twice, but like I said, they're my main villains. Astronomer too, because like I love Astronomer. I've loved Astronomer since I was like, since In Space came out, since I first saw her, since she was just so different from Diva Tops, Vita, Queen Machine. She was just different from all the female villains that I was used to. She was cold. She only like exploded when necessary. She had a sexy little strut to her, and she had this like the spandex with the I love spandex, guys. That's why you see Rogexial with the spandex and shit. Man, I be trying to post this on TikTok, but Rogexial's either too sexy or too violent for TikTok sometimes. So some of those videos don't even get there. But I'll be posting them here and I'll be posting them on Instagram. But for the most part, Astronomer, nah, son. I love her character because she was just different. She was a villainous. Like they took her from her home. Like they made Darkona, this Skyvy bastard, took her and they turned her into an evil, and then she just became like, she ruled the galaxy for 24 hours in the Power Rangers, did Power Ranger shit, and then she lost. And then she became the main like she became a Pink Ranger later on. And that was fire. And even she came back and they showed that she was Astronomer in the Megaforce crossover. That was like literally the only, that Jason David Frank being there was literally the only parts I liked about Megaforce. Because how dare y'all put Jason David Frank in the middle of Ken Watanabe's battle scenes? Like that was, I'm sorry, boy, like Megaforce was just poorly done. That y'all already know how I feel about Cosmic Fury. I don't want to rag on it too much because it wasn't that bad. It could have been Megaforce. It could have been Ninja Steel. It could have been one of those. But at least I like the Rangers. At least I like the Rangers from Cosmic Fury. I like Ion. I like Zato. I like Fern and Izzy. I like Amelia and Ali and Javi. I like all of them. And I like the fact that my boy David Yost finally got to be the leader that he needed to be, bro. Because that's like literally the last Ranger. Him and Walter, the only ones holding down the franchise right now. I mean, Amy, she could come back, but I don't think she wants to come back and do the Spantex. I think she wants to be a boss more or less. She wants to direct more so than she wants to act. And I can understand that because you deserve that, Amy. You're the Pink Ranger. And that comic book that you released was fire. I may cover that. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to cover that one. But yeah. But basically, when we get back to the characters, and when we get back to the, I'm getting a lot of notifications right now. All right, but when we get back to the characters, because like I said, I like to dedicate each one to, and it's just like certain characters is just, I know y'all care about certain characters more than others. Like, who's gonna care about the OC? But I care about my OC. I care about Rogexial. I care about Dexter. I care about Mavis. I care about Beatrice. I care about Ikagen and Madoka. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna rep with the characters that I care about. Yes, you're gonna get your flowers. All of the Power Rangers are gonna get what they want. They're gonna get. Y'all gonna get your content. But I gotta give. But at the end of the day, I gotta do this for me too. These are characters that I want to push too. For instance, like even like for instance, when I do something strictly Power Rangers, I get a lot of great reviews. But every time I do something with Game of Thrones, like I get mixed. It gets a little bit mixy, and I can understand the Game of Thrones is that crowd is a rough bunch right there. But I'm gonna keep it 100. I like them too. And the thing is, my interest is mostly Power Rangers. Yes, I could focus more on Game of Thrones and do I don't know, what if Joffrey was a better person and he didn't kill Ned Stark? Or I don't know, what if Robb Stark survived the wedding? But there's many other channels that do that. And I listen to them all, and I love all those stories, except for any story where Stannis wins, because he ends up killing all the Lannisters and Littlefinger, and that just gets on my nerves. Any story. If Robert kills the Lannisters, it makes sense. It's Robert, bro. But Stannis, people be glazing Stannis. I love Stannis Baratheon. Niggas be glazing that nigga too much. But the thing is, it's just that there's plenty of other channels on here that do what if Game of Thrones stuff, and they do it good. I don't feel like I need to cover every event in Westeros. I like to just change things as a whole. That's what I like to do. I like to change the whole foundation. That's what Rogexial is. She's a great interferer. She shows up and she changes shit whether people like it or not. And you can't really tell her what the fuck to do because like you can't fucking beat her because I fucking made her unstoppable. I mean, you can tell her what to do. There's people that could be her, but bro, like seriously, I'm the fucking author. Like if I write a character to be this strong, they're going to be that strong. But at the same time, like, is she gonna win forever? Is the question, and the answer to that is no. I do have plans on who she's going. I already know who's going. I already know who could defeat her. I already know who can beat her, and it's a character. And there is a character in the Flawless Military universe that can stop her. If you can guess which one it is, please put it in the comment section. It's in this universe. It's a character that I covered. That character can stop Rogexial. If you can put that character, if anybody guesses this right, I will do a free commission for you. Any idea that you want to happen, anything, even if I don't even know about the characters, I'll look it up. I'll watch a season or two or something. I'll do the homework and give me about like a month or two, and I'll get your video out there. But yeah, if you can think of anybody in the Flawless Military universe that I've already written that could best Rogexial, go ahead. Because I already know, I'm the author. I already know how this story ends and how it continues and how it ends endlessly. Trust me. But but honestly, but yeah, that's just what it is with her. Like, you know, there's a writing trope about a character called a Mary Sue, an all-powerful character, that you shouldn't write this character because, like, you know, it throws the story out of whack. But what if I want my story thrown out of whack? What if I want my shit to be a chaotic mess? I don't want my shit to be balanced. No, I want my shit to be crazy and chaotic, and I want my characters to do that, to be that too. So yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna finish making things about this, most of the stuff. Because I still gotta flesh out Mavis, because in the latest video, like, she just up and freaking betrays Rogexial. Why did that happen? That's just because there's a laundry list of history between those two that I didn't explain yet. The reason I didn't explain it yet is because everybody wants to hear about Power Rangers, and I don't really get a chance to flesh these goddesses out, which is why I'm taking some time to do so now. So I just wanted to make this video just to make that clear. And by next week, let's see, today is the 13th. I would say by next week, I will start working on Shattered Grid Redux episode 4. And more than likely the newest episode of, I mean, I'm currently working on Flawless Military right now, so I took in a week to work on Rogexial, because not just me working on her. Whilst I'm working on her, I'm also doing other characters. If you would have noticed that, I put the Red Ranger Emissary in the latest episode. The reason why I put the Red Ranger Emissary in the latest episode, because I always wanted to put the emissaries in there. They're like forever shifting Rangers, constantly shifting through forms and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. So yeah, I put them in there, and you know, I had to give him a God voice, so I gave him Stannis' voice. Because I figure if you know, the emissaries, because I'm gonna be real, guys, when I read the comic books and the Morphin Masters and the emissaries, and anybody that's in charge of the power that's not fucking Zordon are kind of assholes. Like, I remember, I think it was Ranger Slayer. She was trying to talk to these niggas, and these niggas just were ignoring her, and they were kind of like the Maesters in the Citadel. Remember when Samuel Tarly was trying to learn about grayscale and dragons, and the Maesters just kind of wanted to be like stuck into their own world? Like, that's kind of how I perceive the Morphin Masters. Like, they're like the Watchers from, they're like Iwatu. Like, they don't intervene, they just sit there and watch it. And when you do that, and my goddess isn't like that. She's an interfering force. She don't know how to mind her business. Mind her business, what? Nope, not Rogexial. She will literally come and change your land whether you like it or not. You'll just sit here, and then probably 2 weeks later, you're like, you know what, that bitch ain't so bad. That's the kind of character I'm trying to fucking build right now. But yeah, but I guess I made this video to talk about Rogexial a little bit. But yeah, but if you have anything that you like, if you like any of my comment, anything I say, if you have anything to say in the comment section, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back to working on Power Rangers, strictly Power Ranger stuff next week. But right now, I'm going to probably work on Rogexial and probably the scientist too, because I do need to flesh out Dexter. Because Beatrice has been getting a lot of shine lately. Like, she's even in the Shattered Grid Redux. But I need to do something more with Dexter. So just give me a chance to get to the Ranger project next week, because I do need to work on my OCs. So I got y'all next week with that. And if y'all have any recommendations or any projects that you want me to work on, or anything that you want me to include or incorporate in the projects that I already have, please feel free to comment in the section. Please comment more, because it's more or less like, you know, I understand, like, you know, I'm doing this project, I'm doing this for myself, and I'm also doing this for y'all, and I want to hear feedback, and I want to be able to give y'all the content that y'all want, as well as the content that I want. I want to be able to do both. So, you know, just please, like, you know, comment, share your feedback, and anything, any suggestions, or any software. If you're like an AI person, because I know the entire planet hates us right now, but whatever. But if you're an AI person, like, and you know, and you're savvy with AI as me, and you know a little bit better tricks than me, and a little, like, AI, like, you know, if you just have any suggestions, you know, please feel free to comment them, because I listen to everything. I check my comments on a daily basis. So yeah, so all of y'all have a marvelous day.